Have you ever realized that some women don't flirt in a clear or obvious way? Instead, they quietly observe and test your attention, especially if you're a man over 50. Around you, their behavior might shift slightly. They don't want to appear needy or too available. So instead of being direct, they start asking subtle, almost hidden questions, signals that most men completely overlook. When a woman feels even a slight attraction toward a mature man, she will almost always ask two very specific questions. It's like a message hiding in plain sight. But before we dive into that, take a moment, like the video, and drop a comment if you've ever missed a woman's signal and only realized it later. Your engagement helps more men become aware of this. Many men over 50 start to believe they've become invisible to women, whether younger or their own age. But that belief couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, mature men can become even more attractive once they understand how women truly communicate. The problem isn't women, it's misinterpreting their signals. It's assuming she's just being polite when she's actually showing interest. Women rarely express attraction directly. Instead, they test your emotional strength, your presence, and your awareness of subtle cues. When a woman begins to see you as someone she could trust, emotionally, physically, and personally, her behavior changes. What seems like casual conversation becomes intentional curiosity. She starts asking questions that quietly reveal three things: your inner strength, your emotional openness, and whether you can recognize her interest. This is where the two key questions come into play. Many men over 50 expect clear, straightforward signals because they grew up in a time when communication was more direct. But emotionally mature women today often express attraction in indirect ways. Instead of saying, "I like you," they use questions as a safe method to understand you. It protects them from rejection and emotional discomfort. And if you miss those signals, chances are she won't repeat them. Women rarely open the same emotional door twice. Think about it like this. Men often show interest through actions, helping, protecting, guiding. Women, on the other hand, show interest through carefully chosen questions that hint at emotional closeness. And there are two questions that tend to appear again and again when a woman feels a quiet attraction toward a mature man. First, understand this clearly. She's not asking out of simple curiosity. She's testing your emotional presence. She wants to feel whether you are calm, open and confident, or distant and closed off. The first question is about your emotional availability. Not your schedule, but your inner world. She's trying to sense whether there's space for her in your life. It's not practical. It's psychological. Without saying it directly, she's asking, are you emotionally open, or are you shut down? The second question focuses on your direction in life, not just your job or external goals, but your internal path. She wants to know if your life has meaning, stability, and forward movement. Women don't emotionally invest in men who appear lost or without direction. They connect with men who feel grounded and self-assured. So when she asks these questions, she's not simply gathering information. She's imagining what it would feel like to be close to you. A woman may feel physical attraction, but she only moves closer when she senses that your presence is steady and safe. These two questions become even more important after 50. Why? Because many women assume a man at that stage already has an established emotional life. So before getting closer, they subtly check whether there's room for them, or if he's emotionally unavailable. These quiet, almost invisible questions are her way of checking compatibility. And if you miss them, you miss the moment where she silently opens the door. Now let's talk about the two questions. The first one sounds simple. Do you spend a lot of time alone? On the surface, it seems like casual conversation, but psychologically, she's asking something deeper. Are you open to connection, or do you prefer isolation? Is there emotional space in your life? She's not asking about loneliness. She's asking about availability. If you respond well, you won't come across as needy or closed off. Instead, you'll appear balanced, someone who values independence but is still open to meaningful connection. For example, you might say that you enjoy your personal space, but you also appreciate genuine company. That kind of answer shows emotional stability without desperation. The second question is, what are you looking for right now? Again, this isn't small talk. It's an emotional assessment. She's trying to understand your direction. If a man says he doesn't know or that he's just going with the flow, it often signals a lack of purpose. And women don't usually connect deeply with men who seem uncertain or lost, no matter their age. A strong answer is simple and clear. You might say that you're focused on building a peaceful and meaningful phase of your life, or that you value purpose and are open to a genuine connection. Clarity creates attraction. What most men over 50 fail to realize is this: women aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for emotional presence, stability, and clarity. When she asks, "Do you spend a lot of time alone?" she's testing your openness. When she asks, "What are you looking for?" she's testing your direction. Openness combined with purpose creates attraction. These questions may appear in different forms depending on culture or situation, but they all come from the same psychological pattern. Imagine you're speaking with a woman in a cafe, a bookstore, or even online. The conversation feels natural. There's eye contact, a bit of laughter, a subtle shift in energy. Then she asks, "Do you spend a lot of time alone?" That's her first emotional step toward you. Later she asks, "What are you looking for right now in life?" That's her second step. These are not random questions, they're emotional checkpoints. If you respond with calmness and presence, the connection grows. If you react with confusion or defensiveness, the moment fades. And remember this: women rarely repeat emotional openings. If you miss it, the opportunity may not return. A woman isn't testing your words, she's testing your presence. Once you understand this, you stop guessing and start recognizing real interest when it shows up. Before you leave, if this message resonated with you, comment, "I see the signs." That way, more men can learn and become aware. And remember, at this stage of life, attraction isn't about looks or status. It's about emotional clarity, presence, and awareness. When you recognize the signals, you don't chase moments, you understand them.